all our learners, welcome to CEC lecture. Dear learners, the topic that we shall deliberate upon is culture and IR perspectives. In this lecture, which is a very important part of any syllabus concerning issues of culture and international politics, this lecture shall explain the scope, importance of the study of culture in international relations. The lecture shall elaborate upon how the major dominant schools of thought in the paradigm of international relations theory and other related perspectives, they focus on power struggle. However, irrespective of this focus, one cannot ignore that how analysis of ideas, development of norms, culture today have a bearing on international relations, global governance. This lecture shall be useful for learners from the discipline of political science, international relations, sociology, media studies, cultural and communication studies, globalization, amongst others. In this lecture, we shall focus on culture with reference to perspectives of international relations and also bring into focus that how cultural policy has an important bearing today with respect to the foreign policy, and also take into account that cultural diversity, how important it is when we look at the global governance framework. To take our learning forward, at the very outset, let us understand what do we mean by culture. A popular online Google definition of culture explains us that culture signifies customs, social behavior, products, way of life of a particular nation, society, people, or the period. Dear learners, online search also updates us that how the word culture is derived from the French term, which in turn is derived from the Latin word colere, that is signifying to grow, to nurture. Now, as we look into this definition, we must also bear into mind that today, when we delve deeper into ideas of the realm of culture, there are various types of culture. There is a dominant culture, there is a popular culture, there is cinema culture, culture of hierarchy, indigenous culture, amongst others. International culture, which has a bearing for our studies, international culture signifies the cultural realms that extend beyond the national borders, the cultural realm that transcends geography. As we take our learning forward, what we are getting the sense that one must understand what is the significance of culture. Culture connects things, it connects people. Culture has an important role in building communities. With the process, with the passing of time, culture is also important with respect to development of ancestral values. And then it is important to analyze that how cultural traits are preserved, handed over to future generation. Culture has an important bearing with respect to the aspect of the evolutionary identity. Now, this also tells us that culture is dynamic. Culture has an important reference value with reference to understanding people of a nation, understanding ancestral values of a nation, the goals of the future. Thereby, the conventional wisdom that was there in international relations, namely if we take the framework of the perspective of realism. Realism, as we see from the reference of political realism, classical realism, and the structural and the neo-realist perspective, we get the sense that state as the important unit of analysis, there is focus on power struggle, competition, self-help, security-based agenda. However, with new improvements coming forward in the realm of dynamics of international relations, wherein culture has an important bearing. Today, this culture is having an integrative force also whereas in certain cases of global relations, culture is also responsible for having conflicts and fault lines. So therefore, the critiques that emerge that when we try to look at the conventional wisdom in IR, is it inadequate? Is it misleading just to have the focus on power struggle, just to keep the focus towards states and competition with reference to certain conflicts where the aspects of conflicts demand greater understanding of causes and variables, wherein just a security based agenda may not be useful. So therefore, criticism of realism, that is, it presents a gloomy picture of human nature, presenting a gloomy picture of politics, too much focus on competition. Contemporary times, when we look at the paraphernalia, the issues of international relations, one must take into account that today international relations have multi-level as well as multi-dimensional array of things. Cultural values, impact what people, states, what do they stand for, what do they need in world affairs. Taking cue from this very important article that we read at eastasiaforum.org, that is why cultural values cannot be ignored in international relations. Indirectly, as this article says, and we quote, that culture affects what tools of statecraft are used, what is the national image that is being sought after, how concepts of peace, freedom, development are valued, and in all these aspects, culture has an important bearing. Taking the learning forward, an important perspective in IR in order to understand power relations and the state of affairs in international relations has been the Marxist perspective. Now, the Marxist perspective in any discipline focuses on how the economic issues in the society, they constitute the base, and this is one of the most important aspects of any Marxist political philosophy and idea, and that is how every other aspect, and therein lies culture, how it is part of the superstructure. So in this base superstructure dichotomy, culture comes at the second level, wherein the base defines the movement of things, the prevailing structure with reference to happening of things at the superstructure. An important reference book that we must take into account to take our learning forward is by Jyotsna Kapoor, Keith B. Wagner, talking about neoliberalism and global cinema, capital culture and Marxist critique. The book is from Routledge 2011 year. Dear learners, this book points out that how issues of culture of capitalism, neoliberalism, wherein the book takes the case study of global cinema production. This book, takes into account various cinemas of the world, like from Asia, Africa, Latin America, Europe, United States. And this book points out that how, radical financialization, issues of market-driven calculations, which are all important facets of society, can be explained by Marxist theory, contradictions of capitalism. So in order, it highlights that how even global cinema, which is an important part of development and defining contouring of a culture for any nation as well as for global polity, how it is also, has a bearing with reference to the perspectives from Marxist theories and of course the bigger picture of contradictions of the capitalism. Now we must take into account here that Karl Marx and Immanuel Kant, they were not really IR theorists, they were philosophers, and also the work of Antonio Gramsci with reference to the bigger picture of development in Marxist ideas. Herein also with reference to IR, critical theory, which is a diverse set of schools of thought in IR that have criticized the status quo that Marxist theory attempts to do. Now, with reference to critical theory, for example, the work of Robert Cox and the paradigm of production, namely economic patterns involved in the production of goods and social and political relationships they entail, and the related Frankfurt School, where the work of influence of Jürgen Habermas over Andrew Linklater, and the debate on paradigm of communication, how patterns of rationality involved in human communications and ethical principles they entail. So what we see here is, with reference to Andrew Linklater, work of Robert Cox, a similarity here is that they both use the agenda of emancipation in order to critique, in order to judge and evaluate the global political order. And herein, in their analysis of the global political order, as we take reference to this very important reference that we take from e-ir.info, that is introducing critical theory in IR, herein there is reference at how Nancy Fraser explains two main axes of contemporary political struggles, that is redistribution and recognition. Redistribution struggles, example, the class struggles, and the work of Robert Cox focuses on the contemporary redistribution struggles. The second level of struggle, the second aspect, recognition, wherein we have gender, race, national identity, amongst others, and herein lies the Andrew Linklater's work, namely on questions of identity and community. So what is essential that we take into account, that how, when we are reflecting on the various aspects of recognition, when we are looking at what really goes into development of a national identity, somewhere there is an emphasis how ideas, norms, cultural values, ancestral perspectives have a bearing on the understanding of the struggles that go on in IR. Another important perspective to understand IR has been the feminist perspective. The feminist perspective, like their reflections from other disciplines, from literature to political theory, herein also feminism in IR perspectives points out that how the core concepts within the discipline of IR, namely war, national interest, security, are themselves gendered, namely there is a masculine bias, ignorance of women concerns with respect to the formulation of these concepts, and this has a bearing on theory also. Dear learners, when we take into account feminism and IR, an important book reference that we bring into focus here, this is by Juntia Elas, Adriana Roberts, an edited work, that is Feminist Global Political Economies of the Everyday. The book is from Routledge, 2018, and this book questions, the multifaceted ways how one witnesses global transformations, how when we look at the realm of international political economy debates, and the key question here is how they are constituted by a gendered socio-economic agenda as well as practices at the very level of the everyday via various cultural practices. So one gets the sense that how culture studies and the aspect of culture has a bearing on revisions on realist literature, ideas in literature, on inputs towards the Marxist perspective, on critical theory, and as well as on the feminist perspective in IR. This book that we are taking into account, this work looks at the lived realities of people and communities across a wide range of sites, and the outcome that the work Feminist Global Political Economies of the Everyday presents, that how there are gendered socio-economic practices. Another important perspective in IR has been the constructivist perspective. Now, constructivism in IR emerges, say, in the post-Cold War era. The primary idea therein was that how traditional perspectives and theories, that is the realists and the liberals, they fail to account for many other aspects in IR. reflectivism versus rationalism debate was there in IR, and there was this very important idea that this debate led to emerge in IR, namely how actors continuously shape, sometimes they reshape, the very nature of international relations through their actions, through their interactions. What is essential here is that one must also take into account the perspectives presented by Nicholas Greenwood Onuf. Nicholas Onuf, also called as the founders of constructivism in IR. The very important work by Nicholas Onuf, namely World of Our Making, Rules and Rule in Social Theory and International Relations, 1989. Now this work, it gives an idea that one must look beyond the world of the states and their relation. One must also ask, or any world has come to be what it is, that is as a social arrangement, how people engage in world making, and all of it, when we take into account, brings it into focus at how ideas, how norms, which also have a bearing towards the development of cultural values and other perspectives, they have an important role to play, how people engage in world making. Constructivists argue that the agency and structure are mutually constituted, which implies that structures influence agency and that agency influences structures. Let's clarify here. What does agency signify? Agency signifies ability of someone to act. What does structure signify? Structure signifies the international system. So the core idea, the main idea that is driving out from this perspective here is how core aspects of international relations are socially constructed. So dear learners, we must take into account that how even constructivist perspective, it brings into account that how the core aspects of IR are socially constructed, and any aspect which is socially constructed will have a reference link with norms, identity, values, culture. So therefore, with time there has been revision in IR perspectives, and culture is indeed an important factor of analysis. Related to the constructivist perspective is another important work that we must take into account, that is by Alexander Whedon. The work that is Anarchy is What States Make of It, the Social Construction of Power Politics, International Organization, 1992. Now this work presents to us this very important idea that anarchy can be interpreted in different ways depending on meaning that actors assign to it. So what is essential to strike out that how do we give meaning to a concept is very much contingent on the ideas, the norms, the culture within which people, states, governments are situated, because we are all culturally rooted entities. So therefore, even from this perspective, one gets that power politics too has a bearing to social phenomena within which dynamics of global governance exist. Dear learners, an important work that is by Richard Ned Lebow, that is A Cultural Theory of International Relations, 2008. Richard Ned Lebow points out that how human need for self-esteem is important, and also presents that how it influences the political behavior at every level of social aggregation. The book presents some very interesting examples to reflect on, from classical Greece to war in Europe. So the ideal type worlds associated are with the ideals that are associated, namely are of under four motives: appetite, spirit, reason and fear. And then, author gives us a meticulous inputs to demonstrate that how each generates a different logic concerning cooperation, conflict and risk taking. So this shows us that how within the aspect of IR theory also motives like appetite, spirit, reason, fear, as Richard Ned Lebow's work points out, they generate different degrees of cooperation as well as conflict. And this somewhere also points out that how culture has a bearing with reference to IR perspectives. Another important work to add to our understanding is by Julie Reeves, Culture and International Relations, Narratives, Natives, Tourists. The work is from Routledge, 2004. This work examines the implications of culture for IR, and also it challenges the current dominant ideology of culture in IR. The important argument that the work presents here is that as opposed to the popular perspectives and prominent IR theory, it is not that everyone has culture or even that culture exists. So therefore pointing out towards the narrative of how certain cultures are excluded, the indigenous voices are not heard. So in order to have a better representative picture of IR, one must also bear into account the implications that this work highlights, the implications of culture for IR. Cultural diplomacy, dear learners, we all know it's important today. Cultural diplomacy establishes and supports working relations between countries. Cultural soft power, that is cultural diplomacy, is a form of soft power that strives to foster exchange of views, ideas, promote knowledge of other cultures, build bridges between communities. So, an important work reference to highlight how culture has a bearing with reference to foreign policy also is by Oliver Bennett, Cultural Diplomacy and International Cultural Relations. This work, brings into focus how cultural and foreign policies intersect, and this exists in widely differing national context too. Some of the important examples the book presents, that is how use of soft power resources is made use of, how films are made use of in post-war cultural diplomacy, how roles are assigned to culture, taking the specific example of Canada, EU, Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement, role of diaspora relations. So one gets the sense that how today culture has an important bearing with reference to IR perspectives. Culture has been the primary condition for development of any society as well as nation. Now this culture, the norms, the ideas, the beliefs of a particular group, people, state, nation or a period has over a period of time seen transmission of ideas, meanings, and this has an impact on changes and transfiguration of worldwide diversity. Culture impacts the dynamics of international polity and world governance. So therefore, there is a need for comprehensive analysis of looking at various perspectives in IR, namely realism, Marxism, liberalism, feminism, constructivism, that how today culture has an important bearing with reference to both theory as well as practice of international relations. We hope the lecture presented you significant inputs and insight with reference to culture and IR perspectives. We look forward to positive, encouraging feedback from you all. Thank you very much for being with us.